Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 3 of my show, but this is about Episode 2 of Season 2. Now before I start talking about it, I just also want to mention some things that I'm going to be doing YouTube-wise for this first season. I explained it once before when I did the character bio, but I'm going to explain it again first before I start talking about the actual video to clear up any little confusion or thing. There will be a lot of videos coming out for the second season, but mostly a lot of the videos coming out are going to be about the episodes until I get to a 3-part episode in Season 2. I'm not going to say what episode it is, I'm just going to tell you what episode. I just wanted to let you know that there's a 3-part episode, and there's new characters that'll show up in that 3-part episode. So what I might do is I will do a character bio video on those 3 new characters first, and then after that, the next video I do will be about Season 2, the 3-part episode for when I get to the 20 segment of episodes. I just wanted to get that out of the way to clear up any confusion first. But anyway, this is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 3 of my show, but this is about Episode 2 of Season 1, and Episode 2 of Season 2. And Episode 2 of Season 2 is known as The Mutiny, is Part 2 of the 3-part season opening episode called The Mutiny. Now this part of the episode carries over from where the first part left off. So if you guys remember in the last video I did where I ended it, I stated that the Piranhtis head monster had used his flute to freeze the Zords. Well, what I meant by that was he froze most of them except for the Tyrannosaurus. So basically what happens is the Rangers decide to call on the Tyrannosaurus Dinozord, because that's the only one they can use because of the fact that Lord Zedd has frozen the other Zords. So they call the Tyrannosaurus Dinozord down to Earth to help fight the Piranhtis head. And then basically what happens is after the Tyrannosaurus shows up, they're like, perfect. But then, because after they called the Tyrannosaurus down, it was there to help them, and then as I said, that's like, perfect. But then Goldar tells them that Tyrannosaurus is still on the loose, and then Zedd tells Goldar that that's all a part of his plan. Basically, the Rangers' own weapon will be their undoing when his Piranhtis head monster uses its flute to basically turn the Tyrannosaurus against the Rangers. I'm gonna explain with him again. Anyway, then he tells the Goldar, that is all a part of my plan. Their own weapon will be the source of their undoing when my monster turns the Tyrannosaurus against the Rangers. So basically what he does is he fires a blast, and then the Piranhtis head monster fires a blast out of his mouth for his flute to basically, he tells the Rangers to watch this, and then he shoots that energy blast out of his mouth to basically take control of the Tyrannosaurus Zord. And then after the Piranhtis head takes control of it, Jason realizes that the Tyrannosaurus starts attacking them, and Jason wonders what's going on, and then he realizes that the Piranhtis head has made the Tyrannosaurus Zord turn on them. And then basically what happens is that it starts blasting the Rangers, and then it goes into a segment where Tommy is back in the command center with Zordon, because by this point, I'm guessing, if you guys remember back when I did the late segment of the second video I did about the first episode, there was a segment in it where they were fighting the new putties, and Tommy's powers gave out, so that's kind of the reason why he's not there in this segment, because he has to re-energize his powers. And Zordon, because like I said when I did his character bio, for the rest of the first season and the first half of the second season, he would still have his Green Ranger powers, but he would have to temporarily re-energize them using Zordon's own energy. And then basically Zordon tells Tommy that he can, once again, that he can temporarily strengthen his powers, but he doesn't know how long his temporary powers will last. And then he also tells them that they can't risk giving him much more. That's correct, because if he gives him too much, he might destroy himself in the process. Anyway, so then basically Tommy morphs back to where the other Rangers are, and then basically when Tommy shows up, he's asking the other Rangers what the situation is, and then Zack tells Tommy that the fish face, which is the Piranhtis head monster, froze his Zord, and I think when he says his Zord, he also means the other Ranger Zords, and managed to turn the Tyrannosaurus Zord against the Rangers. And then after that, Tommy decides to call out the Dragonzord in order to protect them. And then so he plays his Dragon Dagger flute to call it from the sea. And then basically what happens is, when Zedd sees that, he tells Goldar that he's like, I might as well take control of the Dragonzord while I'm at it. Because what basically happened was, after Tommy brought the Dragonzord to deal with the Tyrannosaurus Zord, they started fighting each other. And then that's when the point in the episode where Zedd said, I might as well take control of the Dragonzord while I'm at it. And then Goldar saying yes. And then Babu said that he likes Zedd's style better than Rita's. And then Zedd's like, Power Rangers, you are finished. And then basically what happens is, after that, he fires a blast from his staff, and then the Piranhtis head monster tells the Zord that it's not nice for them to fight each other, so then he uses his flute to take control of the Dragonzord. And then when Tommy realizes that the Dragonzord, that the Piranhtis head has managed to take control of the Dragonzord, then the Dragonzord and the Tyrannosaurus Zord start attacking the Rangers, and then basically what happens is, then it goes into a scene where Zordon is, and then he's telling Alpha that it's fortunate that he said that they were fortunate that they were prepared for Lord Zedd's return. And he tells Alpha to commence with Phase 2. And now that, what I think he meant when he said commence with Phase 2 was the part of the plan, because I think he had contingencies just in case Zedd showed up. And since he did in this season, because I think that's what he meant by Phase 2. At least anyway, that's what I thought. And then then it goes back to where the Rangers are dealing with the Tyrannosaurus Zord and the Dragonzord turning on them. And then Jason says that they gotta watch out for the Dragonzord tail, and the Dragonzord has armed the missiles. And then basically, what happens is, after that, then Jason says that they have to retreat to the command center, and hopefully Zordon will have an answer. And then basically Jason tells Zordon that they lost their Zords to Lord Zedd, and then basically Zordon tells the Rangers that without their Zord, with their Zords being taken away, they don't have the power necessary to fight Lord Zedd, and that they now need new Zords equipped with the power of thunder in order to combat Lord Zedd. And then I can't remember, but I think it might be either Jason or Zack that mentions about new Zords, and then Billy says his power of thunder, and then he wonders what Zordon means, and then and then Alpha basically tells the Rangers to follow him, and then they follow him to the sky, and then this is where Zordon introduces the Rangers to their new Zords, which, as I stated in the character bio, Jason's Zord for the first half, and like I said, what I mean by first half of this series is the 3 of the 5 Rangers from the first season and second season will be in the second season, but they won't be in it for the rest of the second season. I'll explain why when I get to the 3-part episode and when I do the character bio on the 3 new characters. I just thought I'd mention that. Anyway, Zordon tells the Rangers that Jason's new Zord will be the Red Dragon Thunder Zord. Kimberly's will be the Firebird. Zack's will be the Lion. Billy's will be the Unicorn. And Trini's will be the Griffin Thunder Zord. And basically, once all the Zords basically combine, when all the Zords join together, they will form the Mega Thunder Zord, which basically is the Megazord that's going to be used for this entirety of the second season and the first half of the first little bit of the third season. Now, what I mean by first little bit is I just mean the first episode of a 4-part episode, which I am going to do as an hour-long video for you guys, just to simplify things, because a 4 or 5-part episode doing separately, that'll take too long to do 2 videos separately, so I'm going to do a condensed video where I condense it into an hour video, basically, or like a very long video, basically, just to cover the 4 parts. But I just wanted to get off topic there to mention that. Anyway, after they see the Zords, Billy says that that's more phenomenal, and Jason said that the new Zords are incredible, and then Zack says that Lord Zedd's basically in for it now, but when they see that there's only 5 Zords, Kimberly asks, what about Tommy? And then basically, what happens is Alpha says that it's not yet known whether Tommy's powers will basically remain. So basically, but as I stated, he will get a new Zord, but it won't be until the 2-part episode that I'm going to talk about when I get into the ending, like near the end of the 10 segment, there's a 2-part episode. I'm not going to explain the episode name, but I just wanted to mention it since I brought it up. And then basically, Tommy says that they knew this might happen. He just wishes there was something he could do about it, and basically, the Rangers are wondering when they can they take control. I can't remember, but one of them is asking when they can take control of the new Zords, and then Alpha tells the Rangers that it's imperative that they regain control of the old Zords first. And then basically what happens is after that, basically what happens is Jason says that they've got their work cut out for them. And then the Rangers are trying to think of a way to get their Zords back. And then basically what happens is after that, Zack says that he keeps trying but he can't think of a way to get their Zords back. And then Jason says that he doesn't know how they can, but they can't let Lord Zedd remain in control of their old Zords. And then it goes to where Zedd is, and then he said that now that the Rangers' Zords are out of the way, they're basically powerless to stop him. So, because he believes that now that he's taken the Rangers' Zords from him, they're defeated. So he tells his minions that it's time for them to begin their destruction of the planet Earth. And basically, he said that the first wave of attack will be against the sniveling humans known as teenagers, and then after that, the rest of the world shall easily fall. And then, basically what happens is after that, he sends his Piranhtis head monster to attack the rally. And then, what basically happens is before that happens, then it goes into a segment where Bulk and Skull are, and then they're having this little argument on which way leads back to where the race is. And then after that, they make a little bet where Skull will go his way to get back, and Bulk will go his way. And the first one back is the winner, and the loser takes the winner out for all the pizza he can eat. And then after that, Bulk says fine, and then he makes a bit of a boast to Skull that he hopes that Skull got his allowance for this week, and then Skull makes that same boast to him, and then they go their different directions, which kind of is the wrong way to go. And anyway, after that, then Zedd mentions that the Power Rangers, then it goes back to where Zedd is, and then Zedd mentions that the Power Rangers' efforts are futile. They will never regain control of their old... Well, actually, then it goes to where the Rangers are, and then the Rangers finally come up with a way to get control of their old Zords back. And then basically... Billy looks at Alpha's data on the computer, and he comes up with the idea to build this device, which is a signal blocker, which can interfere with Lord Zedd's signal. They will be able to gain control of their Zords again, and then basically. Then Zordon is telling Billy and Alpha good work, and then basically, so Billy goes with Trini to his laboratory to build the signal blocker, and then basically what happens is after that, when they go to build the signal blocker, that's when Lord Zedd sends the Piranhtis head monster down to Earth, and the alarm goes off in the command center again, and then basically they're wondering what's going on, and Zordon tells the Rangers that by taking their Zords away from them, Lord Zedd is confident he's defeated them, and he's ordered his Piranhtis head to begin another attack on Angel Grove. So the rest of the Rangers, aside from Billy and Trini at this point, go to deal with the Piranhtis head monster, while basically to stall him until Billy gets the signal blocker ready. And then basically what happens is, then it does a little bit of a, then the Rangers fight the Piranhtis head monster a little, and then basically after that what happens is, after that, Zedd realizes that he tells his Piranhtis head monster that he senses intruders approaching, and he tells the Piranhtis head to take care of them. And so he breaks off from the other Rangers for a little while to deal with Bulk and Skull, because they were the intruders that were approaching. And then after Bulk and Skull have a little bit of a talk by themselves and then meet each other again, Skull sees the Piranhtis head monster, and then he starts stuttering and freaking out. But I'm just going to mention about the Piranhtis head here. When the Piranhtis head received the Lord Zedd's order, he said this should be fun. And now I'm going to get back into the segment where Bulk and Skull showed up. And then basically, after they started arguing over what are they doing there, and Skull sees the Piranhtis head monster, and then basically he asks Bulk nervously if they're near a river, and then Bulk's like, no, why? And then Skull says that behind him there's a fish, a humongous fish, a ginormous fish, and then the Piranhtis head monster basically uses his food to turn Bulk and Skull's ATV wheelers to make them go out of control, and then he starts laughing. And then he says that should keep those two busy for a while. And then he goes back to deal with the Rangers, and then after that, the Rangers go to deal with then the Rangers realize that they start fighting the Zords, and then it doesn't work out very well, and then Jason well, first what happens is they try to go for the old fake out routine, and they destroy the I can't remember, but then basically what happens is the Rangers, I can't remember if it's in this episode or the next episode, but they go, in one of the episodes, they go for the old fake out routine, and, well, actually, well, I think that's in the next episode, but anyway, what happens is, basically, the Zords basically start attacking the Rangers, and then Jason basically he contacts Zordon and tells them that they need the new Zords right away. And then Zordon basically tells the Rangers that the new Zords are on standby, however they cannot be activated until they regain control of the old Zords first. And then basically what happens is, because by this point Billy and Trini are still in the laboratory building it, and then basically what happens is after that, when Jason hears about that from Zordon, he tells Zordon to tell Billy and Trini to hurry, because he doesn't know how much longer they can last. And that's basically where part 2 of this episode stops. that's basically where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, just please give this video the real best you guys can. And I will see you guys probably, because I will probably post it Wednesday, and then I'll probably do the next video Friday probably. So until Friday, guys, just please give this video the real best you guys can. And I'll see you guys next time. And like I always tell you with this series, may the power protect you always.